welcome. Again, we're here with County Commissioner Mr. Cory Applegate. Mr. Applegate, what can you tell us about what's going on today? The purpose of it, the importance of it, and whatever else that you can share.
Yeah, so this is actually one of our more important meetings. This is our county reorganizational meeting. So today we're going to pick our chair, our vice chair, and our secretary for the party, and we're also going to pick bonus members, and bonus members are going to act as the executive committee for the county. So they're kind of like a steering committee in a way. They decide the direction the party wants to go with things and how they operate with their bylaws, and overall they talk about party structure and just how we operate in parliamentary procedure.
Okay. Now, President Trump just took the helm.
Yep.
He's ushering in the golden era. Today, how is today applicable to us ushering in the golden era in our local community?
So the big thing is we need to get behind him with everything we do. With all the stuff he wants to peel back on the DEI stuff, he wants to make it where we're energy independent. He wants to protect our border. I mean, that's the most simplest thing, is protect our our nation. I mean, the sole responsibility of the president, when he originally formed, was to help our nation, keep it safe, protect the citizens. So that's a big part of it. So everything we do as a county level, as a city, as whatever community, it needs to be to support the administration, we as conservatives.
That makes perfect sense. Now, I'm gonna throw you a hardball right quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, some voters say, okay, that Mr. President want to take out, diversity, exclusion, and equity and inclusion. Now, some people say, and so that he can move in, people who are merit-based. Some people say that there's never been a time that DEI kept people who was merit-based out. Explain the difference between the two philosophies of wanting to have DEI and why it's beneficial to get rid of it.
Right. Well, I think the perfect example is his administration. So if you look at the last administration, the way that Biden's administration was run, we saw a lot of incompetence. We saw a lot of shortcomings. It felt like the people were picked just because of maybe like their sexuality or their gender, it was, instead of making them merit-based and merit standards. Now we're seeing Trump's administration, and you look at people like, for example, Elon Musk. I mean, the man's the richest man in the world. I mean, he didn't get there with a firm handshake and a nice smile. He did it because he knows how to work a business, and he wants to save the U.S. a lot of money with the Doge and things like that he's doing. So that's what he's looking at when he looks at merit-based. And what's funny is too that everybody wants to bring up, Trump's administration is not going to have enough diversity. Kash Patel is set to be the first FBI director of Indian origin and descent.
Wow.
Right there. You have two openly gay people that are in the administration. One's going to be the FBI, or not the FBI director, but the CIA director. You've got Kristi Noem, who's Department of Homeland Security. She's only the second woman to run that department. And then you've got the first female chief of staff. And his gal was the one that him and Barron were the biggest ones that suggested, hey, go do the podcast, go think outside the box, let's expand your base. And that was big to his win right there. It was just him able to expand his base and get the unions on his side, get the younger people on his side, get more support from the LGBTQ community. So that was huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And now, President Trump just banned transgender sports.
Correct.
How do you feel about that? And then, lastly, this is Homeland Security. This is a place of Homeland Security. There was a time that President Trump was going to take Homeland Security and send it down to Alabama. But under the previous administration, somehow I think they was able to leave it here. I don't know the particulars. This economy, Colorado Springs, do you believe that Space Command will stay here, or will President Trump send it to Alabama? And what would that do for all of the people who's employed here if it do relocate?
Yeah, and so it will affect the economy. Yes, we'll see if it does move. We see an exodus of people. We see people that will leave, that will fall their jobs, or they will take other jobs in other military installations because of their credentials. I'm hoping it stays here right now. Jeff Crank is trying to talk to the Trump administration as our congressman. I'm trying to work in where I can and talk to Crank and see where he's at and where the administration is at with those things. And that Space Force is actually in my district. And so I really want that to stay here. I'd like that to be centered. You've got the infrastructure built up where you've got 5 military installations here. We've got the cabling and the fiber network. Alabama doesn't even have the fiber network set up. This is a decades-long move. I think Trump right now, he's leaning towards Alabama because he looks at it like a red state, blue state. But if we want to keep this area conservative and be a champion for him, it's going to boil down to you should keep the Space Force here and the Space Command here, because the contractors, they've shown an interest. They want to be in this area. They want to be here. We have the infrastructure for it. We have the housing for the soldiers.
We certainly do.
Yeah. And so just the idea, you know, that he wants to move it. I hope he doesn't, you know, like I said, like he's not waiting on a sense of it's a red state and it's a blue state. I hope he keeps it here. I want to see the space for
And then, you know, I want to say congratulations again for being elected. They got the best person on the job. I know you personally.
Yeah,
I voted for you. I go on the record for that.
Thank you.
Because I believe in you, and no one worked as hard as you. I just think it's obvious. And so I'm so excited to have someone in who is going to have brown shifting, you know, policies and stuff that we can go to. Now, one other thing that I'm just curious about, well, two things actually. One is the King Super that's supposed to go up right below Fountain Mesa, I think that is. Right over there by what's the progress and story on that, and the amphitheater that we're going? What's going on with that? I've seen you at both sites.
Well, I don't know about the amphitheater. You're talking about the Ford Amphitheater, the one up north there?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, that's the one.
So that one's almost completed.
Okay, yes.
They've added concerts there and everything, so they're almost completion with that.
Okay.
I know that they're looking for investors. They're looking for people to buy in. They became the Ford Amphitheater because they needed sponsorship.
Oh, wow.
The owner, I can't remember his name offhand. He owns the Whitworth Hall as well, now the Philharmonic Hall.
Okay.
He wants people to be able to invest in that business, so he actually is offering things like profit sharing, where he's offering people part ownership, so you can own 1% and actually take profit.
Oh, I'm actually interested.
On a concert. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of money to buy in eventually, but it could be an investment return for the community as well.
Wow.
I know they've gotten a lot of noise complaints, and I do say that. Maybe it's time we look at like halting housing in that area until we figure that out with the events. I know that they have a cap; they can only be so loud until 11 o'clock, and then it's got to end. So that's the first thing with that. And then the King Supers in Fountain, that was a big move there. Yes, I was over at that groundbreaking. Yeah, I was there with the shovel and groundbreaking. I was on Fountain City Council at that time. And so the big thing with the King Supers was we were able to build it there. Kroger had an interest in that corner. They'd done surveys, they'd done locations, catching before they go up the hill to the Safeway and the other markets that are up the hill. They wanted that corner spot. Right now, as I was told, they're still in phase 1, but they've got 4 walls right now standing up. So you can expect that soon. Eventually, too, City of Fountain, I know this, their metro district is looking into putting a bus route there. So the number 2 bus route that goes through the center of the city is actually going to have a bus stop. It's going to drop people off right in that shopping center.
Wow.
And so people from the old town, where they talk about it's kind of a food desert, and God forbid somebody doesn't have a vehicle in a couple of days, they can't go anywhere where they can get like actual good fruits and vegetables. That's an option for them now, is they now have the option to run, take the bus. They'll take them to that King Supers, and they can pick up anything from pants and wiper blades to their supplements and fresh fruits and fresh veggies.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then another one. This is a bonus. Talk to me a little bit about ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice voting, yes. So we saw that disaster on the ballot. So actually, what was funny was they spent $113 million to try to promote the ranked choice voting. And we spent in this county like just activist money, threw a couple thousand towards it, some flyers, and made a bunch of phone calls, and that ballot initiative died. Basically, it's where you're saying get rid of party structure, no Republicans, no Democrats. You just have 4 people they petition on, they throw them on the ballot, and then everybody goes down the line and decides I want this person to be my first person, and this person to be my second, so on and so forth, based on a race. It's a mess because it's actually a reason we don't have Sarah Palin in Congress right now. They had a ranked choice voting system in Alaska, they used to, and it was where they would take their top 4 people and they would boil it down to 2 for the general election. Well, she went toe-to-toe with a Democrat, and she had a couple people that were running third party that didn't like her, and they gave their votes, they pledged it to the Democrats. So because of that, she couldn't move the needle. She went from 48% to 49%. Her opponent, who got 35% in the original vote, ended up beating her. And so it's a bad system in that sense when somebody who would have won that seat, potentially could lose, and it just rips away party structure. There's no need for like a chairman, like we're picking on today. There's no need for precinct leaders, division leaders. There's no party structure. You're just kind of out in the wind supporting whoever, basically, at that point. And they just got to kind of raise a lot of money and do that. And I think when you allow it based on like who's got the most money and the most name recognition, then you get a lot of people, a lot of special interest involved, and that's not healthy for a political system.
Very well said.
Yeah.
And it's a full day, and you're such a busy man.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful that you took the time to speak with us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Applegate.
I appreciate it.
Do it!